Audience, welcome back. Today we have lot to cover because today we are talking about eight biases. Okay, eight biases. These are based on social and trust bias. Okay, trust belongings. That's the thing, guys. So welcome to this video, and here we are going to learn like humans don't just make decision alone, how they make decision based on the society. We look at what others are doing, we trust authority figures, we favor our own group, and we oversimplify outsiders, right? Outsiders. Our decisions are mostly based on society. Okay, that's how things work. So today is November 5 and we are moving towards. So agenda is for the first four biases are social proof, authority bias, in-group bias, and out-group homogeneity. Okay, so let's move on, guys. Let's move on. First is social proof matters. There is another name for this particular bias, which is bandwagon effect. Okay, so this is a different name for this particular bias. I am giving you one suggestion: watch this video in 1.5x or 2x. Okay, so then you will not feel bored. Okay, you will not feel bored because I am going to talk little bit slow. Okay, so what is social proof matter? What is social proof effect? What is bandwagon effect? We copy what others do. We copy what others do. Okay, assuming it must be correct. Assuming it must be correct or valuable. So if everyone is doing it, it feels safe. Okay, that's the crowd mentality. That's why we do not take risks or different approaches to solve a particular problem. Example here, like trusted by 50,000 plus learners in India, boost sign ups and build credibility. Like you are looking for a course, right? You want to buy a course. Even I also buy so many different courses, and I also look for the how many learners they already taught. Okay, how many students they already teach, how like their results, right? Their results, placements, or people who actually get benefits from their courses. We look for credibility, and this helps us to buy things. A crowded restaurant feels better than an empty one, even if the food is similar, right? Despite similar quality, the emptiness and the crowded, people are going to look for the crowded one because they think that they are giving the fresh food, right? So we follow the crowd to reduce uncertainty. This is the word, uncertainty. To reduce uncertainty, right? So guys, popularity signals safety and quality. That's why we join the crowd, right? Reviews, rating, and testimonials drive conversion rates, and this shares our experiences, right? Highlight your best offerings. This is just a thing that in UX, most popular plan labels nudges users, right? Like reviews, ratings, and testimonials already driving the rates. Like we copy tend to avoid standing out. We always copy trends to avoid standing out. Okay, so that's the thing, guys. And next is authority bias. We trust and obey experts. We trust and obey experts. Institutions like IITs, right? Harvard University, right? MIT. If a research is coming from these universities, we think that, oh, the credibility itself get high, right? So like those authority figures, they create a source, the source of authority, that source of trust, right? And that's why we bought products. That's why so many brands, so many different brands, they give advertisement through most trustable or most, the authority driven person. That may be the celebrity, okay, that may be the celebrity, or that person can be an social media influencer, right? Social media influencer, but they drive the brand, okay, because they have the audience and the trust of their audience. So if an expert says it, we believe it. That's the thing. So what are the examples here? IIT alumni, backed by IIT alumni, makes a product feel more credible, right? Doctor's quote: people follow medical advice more when the doctor wears a white coat. White coat, right? So authority automatically symbols shortcut to judgment, right? So we do not care for if this authority figure have that level of real authority, but we actually look for the judgment biases, and that's why we look for most, most credible responses. That's why we are talking about the previous ones, that we look for the clues, we look for people, and we look for evidences, right? So social proof and authority bias is similar. Next is trust. Trust in group bias. This is in group bias, okay? In group bias. So what is in group bias? We favor people, we favor people who belongs to group, who belongs to group or community, right? We always favor these kind of people, because if a group of people like this person, then automatically I can also believe in this person, right? That's the thing. We favor people who belongs to our group, community, or identity. In simple words, we trust us more than them. We trust us more than them, right? So local testimonials, local endorsement resonate stronger with target audiences, enhancing trust and relatability. Sports fans fiercely support their teams, reflecting loyalty that often overlooks performance flaws. Like fans defend their sport teams, right? Like, oh, I support India, you support Pakistan, right? And they are going to fight against their own players. It doesn't matter what that sport is, but fans defend their sports team fiercely, even when it performs poorly, right? Even if they perform poorly, we give special treatment to our tribe. That's the tribe mentality, right? So yeah, guys, builds loyalty but can bind it, right? Yeah, the localized campaign outperform generic ones. This is a real thing, that localized marketing, and this create an engagement, and the community basis actually create that certain belief where, okay, other people are using that product or other people are using this service, we can also favor that, right? The localized campaign outperform generic ones. Regional language and cultural cues increase trust. This automatically increase trust. In life, we hire, trust, and support people, those are just like us, right? That's the thing. So next is very 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 similar to this, right? The stereotyping outsiders, right? So next is the out group homogeneity bias. Guys, we see members of other groups as all the same, ignoring their diversity. Diversity. We see members of other group. We see members of other group as similar, all the same, ignoring their diversity. This is a not a very common type of thing, but you will understand by example. Okay, like treating all Gen Z users as identical, ignoring their varied needs, right? Varied needs. There is a variety in Gen Z's. Okay, there are so many Gen Z's who look for traditional things. There are some Gen Z's who are very, very, socially open, right? The open mentality, too much open mentality. So left wing, right wing, they all exist in this Gen Z, right? So diverse Gen Z users have unique needs, yet are often treated as homogeneous groups, right? There can be a diversity, but people are going to look at them as Gen Z. Competitor customers. Assuming all competitors' customers think alike leads to misunderstanding and poor design choices. This happens when a company don't think that okay individuality exists. No. So in outgroup homogeneity consequences, like why it matters, because it leads to stereotypes. It leads to stereotypes, right? And for poor design choices, poor design, or poor decision making, because we don't have enough decision making data, right? So misreading diverse segment as one block, that happen, guys, that happen a lot in marketing. Misreading diverse segment, this can, this can fail your particular decision, your particular design choice. And it in the UX, one size fits all design alienate users, right? One size fit all design almost alienate users, right? In life we underestimate the individuality of people outside our circle. So that's the thing, guys. So these are the social proof, authority, in group and out group biases. Okay, reflect and ask, like there are so many questions, like am I choosing this just because others are choosing this, right? These kind of questions you can ask. The question can be like, am I trusting this because of expertise or just the symbol of it? Another question can be that, am I favoring my group? Am I favoring a data, fact, or an just an authority figure, right? Just an authority figure, right? Am I figuring out things by my own, or I am choosing the things because others are using, or the group mentality, right? Ask these questions, guys. Am I oversimplifying people outside my circle? That's the question needed. So guys, write down these answers, right? Write down these question answers, and you will really enhance your capability to see things. So this is just the first part of the video. We are moving towards the next part. Keep it simple, belted bold. Next topic is the 8 biases, right? I already talk you about the, the 4 biases, and now we are moving toward the stereotype, right? Stereotyping bias, halo horn effect, false consensus effect, and spotlight effect. Okay, so first of all I need a black pen, right, and little bit more thickness. Great. So yeah, we are moving toward the stereotype bias. Let me have a next color, right? This color will be helpful for me. So yeah, cognitive bias in design. So what is stereotyping bias? assigning traits to individuals based on their group identity. Stereotyping is a cognitive bias where individuals assign traits based on group identity. This can lead to significant assumptions and misinterpretation in design decisions. Let me tell you with examples, like like they are Gen Z, so they must be tech savvy, right? Because they are Gen Z, they must be tech savvy. This is a stereotype. This is a stereotype bias, right? Like the assuming all developers are introvert, assuming all developers or all software engineers are introverts, all hackers are introverts. This is a stereotype bias, guys. Not all developers are introverts, not all. Actually it is opposite, right? All the developers are really good at communication. All the developers, all the designers, all the computer science engineers are really good at communication. They have to be good at communication, otherwise they can't explain things, because in the field of computer science development, things are complicated. So we need to have that skill to actually communicate and share ideas, to articulate, right? This is necessary. You can't be an introvert. Yes, you can. Yes, you can solve problems in your home, but it does not mean that you are an introvert. So hackers, mainly hackers are not introverts. Guys, you need to understand, hackers are not introverts. They are extremely good at communication. They learn social engineering. Social engineering is a topic of hacking. Okay, this is very important. So stereotype can lead to significant pitfall in design. For instance, assuming all users are tech savvy can alienate those unfamiliar with technology, resulting in frustrating experiences for many. Right? Why stereotyping matters? Stereotyping in design leads to exclusion and mispresentation, ultimately limiting the audience reach. It can result in misguided marketing and poor user experience, hindering creative potential and insight. That's the thing, guys. That's the thing. So it excludes the misrepresent and limits reach. Like in marketing, campaigns flop when they rely on lazy group assumptions, right? So that's why stereotypes bias is very big factor when you actually make decision based on a group mentality, right? We are already talking about the group mentality. This is a bias. So let's move on to halo and horn effect. I don't know if we already, I think we already talked about it in the previous biases. So let's uh, oh, this image, I didn't even know that AI put this image here, right? Okay, so clean face, pimple face, right? So halo horn effect. One trait means good or bad shapes our entire impression of a person, product or a brand. The halo horn effect described how one positive or negative trait can influence our overall impression of a person, product, or brand, affecting decision making and evaluation. They are smart, so they must be good at everything. That's the kind of impression we have. If they are good looking, they must be smart. That's the impression of halo horn effect, right? So a CEO endorsement boosts trust in a product even if the product has not been tested, right? That's the thing. That's why we often you know make biases based on the authority figure. A past scandal makes users distrust every new feature even if it's solid. Because of controversy in that particular product or service, people hesitate to buy that product or that service, right? this actually negatively affect. So this is why we need to understand where, if we are giving that halo or horn effect positively or negatively, right? The halo on effect influences how we perceive products and brands. A single trait can lie, like a celebrity endorsement. A single trait like a celebrity endorsement can significantly sway consumer trust and decision making in unexpected ways. So halo horn effect can lead to distorted feedback in design. The bias skews perceptions, affecting evaluation and decision based on single traits instead of comprehensive review. That's the thing. That's the thing that, why it matters. It distorts the feedback, right? It distorts the feedback, your hiring and product perception. A celebrity face can overshadow a flaw, right? A celebrity face can overshadow product flaws in marketing. One bad onboarding step can ruin the whole experience. That's in hello horn effect, guys. So we overrate or underrate people based on their first impression. That's the thing. That's the hello horn effect. The first impression itself is hello horn effect. So let's move on to the final stuff. False consensus, right? False consensus effect, overestimating agreement among individuals. Guys, false consensus. What is false consensus? We overestimate how much others share our beliefs, preferences, or behaviors, similar to that group mentality. Okay, everyone loves dark mode, right? This is the kind of false consensus effect. Everyone likes dark mode. Right now I am giving you the presentation, right? I had two different variation. One is dark mode, one is light mode. Some people would be liking this particular presentation, or some will be liking this. Or there are some people who say that okay, both are really good or both are really bad. So these are coming from, false consensus effect, that they will think that because I am not liking this, maybe there are some so many different people, percentage of people who are liking this. Or maybe they think that they are the different one, and they will think that I am the 1 percenter, and all the 99% will be liking this other particular presentation, right? So this come under the false consensus effect. Example: a dev team assumes all users want dark mode because they do. Right? A startup founder thinks everyone values speed over privacy because that's what they value. Okay, that's the thing. These are the examples, right? We mistake our bubble for the world. Misjudging user preferences in design. False consensus effect occurs when teams assume their preferences represent users. These bias can lead to poor design decisions that fail to meet diverse user needs. Even in portfolio, we often, if you are making a portfolio, you are going to make your portfolio based on your biases. This is 100% chances, because somewhere on the air, like, you may be doing the competitor analysis, you may be having an ideation process, right? Or a problem solving in your particular portfolio where you are making a product, right? Or in the testing phase, right? You will give data and facts based on your own bias, right? This is what happened. But you need to understand where those biases are. So then, if someone is asking you, how did you conclude this particular fact? Then you can say that, oh, this is just my bias, sir. This was just my bias. It's not coming from the research or facts or proof. I just, I have this bias that, oh, people will be liking a water bottle which have a net on its cap, so then it can filter water, right? This is my bias, that people are going to like these kind of bottles. So there is no problem with that, but you can say that, and you can share your experience, your your awareness of, yes, I am having this bias. So false consensus effect leads to biased decisions in design and communication by overestimating shared beliefs. This can result in ineffective messaging and missed opportunities for diverse perspectives. Right, guys? Like, why it matters? Because it leads to biased decisions, poor research, and echo chambers. In marketing, in marketing, messaging misses the mark when it reflects internal culture, not user reality. Like, features are prioritized based on team preferences, not user data. Sometimes this happen in UX. Okay. And in life, we assume agreement and miss real diversity of thought. That's the thing. So, this is now the final effect, spotlight effect. Understanding our perceived attention from others. Spotlight effect is the bias that others notice our actions, mistakes, and appearances more than they actually do, often leading to unnecessary anxiety. So, what is spotlight effect? We believe others notice our action. We believe that others are noticing our action. Okay, they are always looking what we are doing, right? You have this bias, guys. Spotlight effect. You think that if you are walking in crowd, the people are looking at you, right? There is a possibility that no one is looking at you, no one is caring if you are wearing what kind of dress, the color of that dress, right? The hairstyle, no one is going to care for that. But yes, you think that spotlight is on you. This is a bias, guys. Everyone saw that typo I made. Right? An example, a designer obsessed over a 2 pixel misalignment. A 2 pixel misalignment. Users never notice. A 2 pixel misalignment, right? Someone who is very savvy, very design savvy person, a UI UX designer, he is going to think from the perspective of misalignment, and like those different principles of UX, right? Don Norman, based on Don Norman, or so many different heuristics, right? So yeah, that's the thing. A speaker stumbles on one word and think the whole the whole talk is just ruined. A public speaker stumbles on one word, only one word. Okay, he maybe mispronounced that one word, and then he thinks that the whole talk is just ruined. The audience didn't even blink. The audience didn't even notice. The audience didn't even care if he said something wrong, right? Spotlight effect in design. Over emphasizing small details and perception. The spotlight effect leads designers to obsess over minor flaws, believing audience are scrutinizing every detail. This often distracts from the overall impact and detracts from creativity. Spotlight effect analysis, guys. Why it matters? Because it wastes energy, slows shipping, slow down the development, and fuels anxiety. Teams over polish instead of shipping fast. This happen a lot. In UX, designers delay launches over invisible tweaks. Okay, this leads to delay. This leads to procrastination, because we are looking for perfection, right? There is nothing about perfection. We can't do anything about perfection. So, guys, these are the thing. And yes, you have to implement this stuff. Ask questions, ask questions. This is what important. You have to write these questions, right? Like, am I designing for a label? Am I designing for a label or a real person, right? Ask question like, am I letting one trait color for everything, right? Ask a question. Do I have data or just my own opinion, right? I have a data or my own opinion. Do you know, will anyone even notice this the way I think they will? Okay, am I making decision based on what others think? Am I making decisions over what others think about me, right? So ask these questions and give your own, the reviews, the facts, research from Google, guys, because these things actually exist, and you make decision based on these 8 biases I already told you about in this particular video. And learn, guys, learn, because the moment it goes to your mind, right, the moment it goes to your mind and stick to it, you will see this world in a very different perspective. You will see things as it is, and that is important. Always see things as it is. So this is the Devin Lab, and we are ending this video, and in the next video we are also going to talk about more, maybe 4 or 8 biases, and then we are going to end the whole series, right? The whole biases, all the biases are going to get completed in these 2 or 3 days, and then we are going to move toward actual crux, the thinking types, right? The thinking types, detailed video overthinking, right? Detailed video on science behind thinking, science behind mind, right? We are going to learn this stuff, and this is going to be more interesting. So keep it simple, build it bold. Bye.